Hi, welcome to the channel and this Grey Knights Codex review. There's a lot of hour-long videos out on YouTube at the moment, but I'm going to tell you everything you need to know in under 5 minutes. There's some big changes in the Codex, making this elite psychic army competitive again. Starting off with some core army rules. Marines and Terminators get their extra wounds. 3 attacks base in general, which is an increase for most troops. Nemesis Dread Knights have the core keyword, that's going to be pretty powerful. And you can only take 1 Brother Captain or 1 Grandmaster per detachment. Some army-wide buffs, you get +1 Deny the Witch, you get a 5+ Feel No Pain. Smite has changed to a standard D3, making it more reliable for delivering damage. And you can cast the same psychic power more than once, but the cast level goes up by 1, a bit like Smite. What has gone from the Codex is the +1 to cast, and the +1 save at range. Like standard Space Marines, they get Bolter Discipline, but Shock Assault has gone. It's basically been built into the datasheets. So it's a small buff. For Teleport Strike, you have an army-wide Deep Strike. With Tides of War, it's an army-wide buff. Every unit gets it. Psychic units, including Dreadnoughts, get it, but not other vehicles. You select a choice at round 1, and then you can use a psychic power to change it if you want to. It has to be changed to something not already used. Probably the best buffs are Convergence, which is a +6 inch to psi weapons and mortal wounds on 6s in melee, or Banishment, which is particularly good against demons, which gives them -2 leadership, and you get to reroll 1s for hits and wounds. And the key part of the faction, the psychic powers. Everyone knows Smite, and there are 2 different disciplines depending on whether you're a character or not. For characters, you've got the Dominus discipline, slightly less choice than before, but still a strong set of powers. One of the key ones is Gate of Infinity is back. The Sanctic discipline is for individual units locked to certain powers, and it's listed in the choices. These you can cast multiple times, but the cast goes off on an increase of 1. Stratagems are still a good toolbox, with a lot of choice. I'm not going to go through the details as there's too many, but some solid ones include Haloed in Soulfire for 1 CP, which is -1 to hit, Untainted and Unbowed for 2 CP, which is -1 damage, and Teleportation Shunt for 2 CP, which is redeploy a unit, great for first turn strike. Warlord traits are a 6 standard and 1 for each Brotherhood. A good competitive one is Unyielding Anvil, but that's only on Stern, and that's a 6-inch aura giving Obsec. Possibly the strongest is the Hammer of Righteousness, and that's only on Crow, and that's +1 to wound in melee. For the relics, there's quite a lot to choose from, and 2 of the best are the Sigil of Exigence, which is good for shenanigans. You get to once per game redeploy in the enemy shooting phase, or Soulglaive, perfect for melee, which is strength 2, AP -3, damage 2, and it rerolls hits and wounds. That's going to be devastating. Wisdom of the Pronosticars are a set of 12 buffing upgrades that you can buy with points. You can give them to non-named characters, take as many as you like, 1 per character, per battle. Some useful buffs, and I'd say the best are either Servants of the Throne for 15 points, gives a 3+ invuln until the end of the turn, or Foretelling of Locust for 30 points, where you can redeploy 3 units. Litanies of Purity for the Chaplains, and to be honest, I'd consider other Psyche units in the army rather than taking a Chaplain, primarily because the Litanies only go off on a 3+, they're not quite as reliable as for other Space Marines factions. But the most useful is Litany of Expulsion, which is a 6-inch aura, rerolls to hit in melee. The Brotherhoods are 8 subfactions, and for each of them you get a stratagem, psychic power, and a warlord trait, and there's lots of powerful rules in here. The key 2 for me are the Sword Bearers, which is reliably strong, and it's a vehicle and shooting oriented subfaction. The strat gives you +1 to hit in shooting, including the Dread Knight. The psychic power gives +1 to wound for vehicles, and the trait gives vehicles a 4+ invuln. The other key one is Rapiers, which is fantastic for melee. Overall, a really nice set of improvements for the Grey Knights. I'd like to see how they get on in tournaments. Hope this has been useful. Let me know in the comments if I've missed anything. Drop us a like as well because it helps the channel, and see you again soon. Bye!